Welcome to the workshop, everybody. In this video, we're going to turn this into a feature wall. And that's all going to happen right now. How to make a feature wall. Step one, tools, air compressor, miter saw, trash can, table saw, and lumber. Here we go. I'm looking forward to this feature wall. My customer found an inspiration photo, where else, on the internet, of a wall with what I'll call an array. 1x2s offset from each other at different angles that give a flat wall a lot of texture. Now it's time to lay out. So I've already been doing a little measuring in here so I can put this in one tiny nugget. What I'm looking for here is I want level. I could measure up from the base molding or down from the ceiling and get parallel, and I've done that on shiplap walls, but on this feature wall I want level. The reason is this thing holds together by a strip here horizontally and a strip here vertically. And I want that joint, which is going to be a butt joint. I'm not going to try to fight a miter in there. I want those to be level and plumb, then I'll work the angles as needed. If I'm off there, all my other angles are going to be a little off and a little open, and I want to avoid that. You might ask yourself, hey Mark, why are you running those 1x4s on a table saw when you could just get 1x2s already cut and edged? And I would say, because I have to. I don't know why this is. I thought I could go out and get 1x2x10, but I couldn't even get 1x4 or 1x6x10 in a primed finger joint product. When I went to both big boxes that I live near, neither one had 1x4 or 1x6x10 in stock. It was either 8 or 16. The reason I point all that out is that if you decide to do a feature wall product like this and you're buying from a big box, you might have to get creative. That thing doesn't carry 16s, so what I had to do is cut them down in the store. Now I have to rip them down here, and I still have one more step before we start getting stuff on the wall. So that, good people of the internet, is why I'm on the table saw. I hope Porter Cable still makes this, because this little joiner has saved me so much heartache in situations like this. What's happening here, if you haven't used a joiner before, this benchtop joiner is spinning knives in a rotation like this, and what it's doing is it's planing off all my saw marks from ripping on the table saw. It's an extra step, and they're hard to see, by the way, as I finish that thought, they're hard to see in raw wood sometimes. But if you really want to see saw marks in a piece of lumber you've cut, just add paint. Well worth the extra time. Just a little hand sanding with this thing, by the way. Pop-up tool video, Gator, Lowe's. This little hand sanding doohickey, I love this thing. It's just right for little stuff like this. The planer blades didn't quite catch all of this. Extra minute or two here, and the paint will set up good nice later. With the bottom piece in and checked for straight and level against the laser a second time, I want to make sure I don't just solely rely on my original pencil marks. One reason is, especially when you rip a board like this, it may pick up a curve, even subtle. If it does and you don't check, and you find you're suddenly off your line later on installing, That's not when you want to know. Now is when you want to know. So, Twitter version of that, double check yourself for plumb and straight, then fasten with brads. That looks good. Pieces are going in. Sorry, I'm having a good time. One of the things that I think it's important to look for as you lay these out in a sort of random, not random pattern is one of the guiding principles on if your piece fits is if the miter joint closes up very nicely. Because we were careful here and careful here to create a 90, a 45, and a 45 that fit. But nothing's perfect. There's lumps in the walls, there's whatever. So as a double check, I'm making sure the miter is tight on both ends, but also, and notice how I'm using the tape measure here, that I'm parallel to the previous piece. So that way, if it wants to go this way or this way a little, who knows, we're all human. I've double checked that I'm parallel. The miters are closed. Now it's time to sing some brads. Woohoo! The other thing I'm doing, I might as well make this a super long take, is this is plasterboard, so it's wavy. So I'm just putting, I'm going to overdo this for the sake of camera, putting a little extra force if there's a hollow, so I'm pressing my lumber close to the wall. That's it. More pieces. I'm going to try to make this look easy. I have to measure from up here to down here, and there's only one of me. So what I did was I used the tool I use every day, my scratch awl, and I put it in the ceiling up there. I probably could have used a screw. Now, if I don't twist the tape, it stays. And from the awl to here, along my parallel lines, I get 103 and a half. So I'm going to make that 104. See how she fits. And these miters get reversed. We change directions on this board. The awl is also a good placeholder if you're working by yourself, so that you can get this long piece, that's part of our design, from there to right chair, all by your own self. Per our inspiration photo, we changed directions here. So, as I've been doing all along, I made sure my miter is tighter right there, but then I want to make sure this is running 92, not 92, 90 also. So, little square action. Now the rest of my pieces can register accurately off of this. We're transitioning to our next level piece, and level is the name of the game. I want to make sure this is level, so just like the other pieces over there, as I march my way down, I have a reliable, level, accurate piece to register my measurements from and to. Level. And that, people of the good ship feature wall, that's all she wrote. Caulk, fill, painting by others. I'll see you on the next one.